testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is, yeah, you got it, 10, number 10. 10, 14, 10, 14.
All right.
Hey, Nate and I are going to sing a little song for you now.
No. That is not in tonight's programming. But good evening. How was dinner? Everyone have some good food? Yes, that was so good. Well, in a minute we'll get started, but we thought tonight we were just talking about what to do and thought it would be a fun opportunity to do a couple of fun little question games as long as we have Thomas and Melissa around, and hopefully be able to get to know them and a few small details about them a little more. So in a second I'll invite them up. But again, so part of the purpose of tonight is a little less getting to know a lot of things about them and more just some of the fun details and things that make them tick. And then we'll get to Grayson in a minute. But so I'll invite y'all, you guys can come on up, Thomas and Melissa, and then we'll get started. So let's give it up for Thomas and Melissa. Here we go. Oh, yeah. So we'll get started. Yes, feel free. Yes, so start back to back. And so the way that this game is going to work, if anyone has seen kind of like the Newlywed Game, or this isn't really fun, so there are two pieces of paper. So here you go. We got blue and pink pieces of paper. And so I'm going to ask different questions about who in your relationship who does this question apply to? And then based off of who you think the answer is, you put a blue for Thomas or a pink for Melissa. So this is how we'll get started. All right.
Do we need a test question, honey?
Yeah, you want to do a test question. So in the relationship, who is the earlier riser? Who gets up earliest? All right. We had opposites there. Y'all both said the other person. Depends on the day. Okay. So on a family road trip, who is the normal driver? Who is trusted behind the wheel? So who is more likely to burn the house down when they are cooking dinner? All right. All right. May have to talk about that one after. So out of the two of you, who is more of a clean freak? Y'all knew that one right away. That was a good one. Who is the cleaner?
Who is what?
Who is the cleaner out of that? It would be the blue. Who does the cleaning? That is the question people want to know. All right. That's an interesting dynamic. Okay, so who is more, here we go. Out of the two, who is more of the daredevil of the relationship? There it is. And in the relationship, who is the quote-unquote the responsible one? Okay. Well, it's good y'all both are very confident in yourselves.
Make sure you fed and clothed.
Who is the loudest one, or who is the louder one in the relationship? Louder. On the same page again. Who is more likely to get lost? Lost. All right, y'all both got it. In the relationship, when you're seeing other people, who talks the most, or who's the talker? Okay. I like this. Now, if y'all can, you can turn the chairs to face everyone. I just had like a couple of other questions, like a either or, and I'll give y'all this other microphone so you can do some answers. Over half. It was good. It was good. Here we go real quick. So here y'all go. I'll ask a question. You can each answer. So I had mentioned we want to just stay lighthearted for the most part, but I had one pressing question I wanted to ask, which was this upcoming fall on Saturdays, which college football team will you be rooting for?
War Eagle.
Okay.
Dogs. Sickle.
Well, okay, that is a tough one to take. Okay, so the next one is beach or mountains? Are you a beach person or a mountain person?
Beach.
Mountain.
Okay, all right. You got to plan that vacation strategically. Okay, cat or dog? Cat dog or cat person or dog person?
Cat dog would be the appropriate answer for me.
Definitely a dog.
Definitely a dog. Do you guys have any pets?
2 dogs, a cat, and a rat.
It is not a rat, it is a hamster. Do not call my hamster a rat. Highly offended.
All right, next question. Pizza or tacos? Pizza or tacos?
I'd say pizza.
Definitely pizza.
All right, then this is a great follow-up. Do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yep.
No.
Oh. All right, I'm definitely a pineapple fan, so that's good to hear. All right, got a few other questions. So would you rather live in a world with talking pets or talking babies? Talking pets, like animals, or talking babies? Like Grayson would be having a full conversation with us.
I could make more money with talking pets.
That's a good
But I
one.
would prefer talking babies.
Okay.
I'm going to have to say talking babies, then they could tell me what they actually wanted.
All right, and then the last question is, on your ideal, on an ideal night, would you rather do dine in somewhere or would you rather carry out? What's the weather? No, COVID is not a factor in this question.
I would probably dine in.
It would be dine in. We particularly like to go to the non-chain restaurants in our town, some of the local favorites.
Okay. Do you guys have a favorite here so far?
I really like the Thai restaurant.
We went to a Thai restaurant, and
Thai house?
I think so.
Oh,
It was good.
Thai palace?
Mm-hmm. That was a good
Yeah.
one. Well, okay, so...
We like Mystic Grill in Covington, too.
Okay. Well, I wanted to put you on the spot for a minute, Melissa. Thomas had mentioned, because we wanted to know, or I would love, and I think we'd all love to hear the story of how you guys met. And Thomas had mentioned that you are great at telling that story. So
All right.
would love to hand it over to you.
So, this is how Thomas and I met. First of all, I'm going to have to caveat it with, it was at North Georgia Annual Conference, which is probably about the last place on the face of the earth that I ever thought I would meet someone who I would marry. So we were at we were at annual conference, and I was outside the grill. So if you've ever been to Athens, you know that the grill is right there on the main street. And I was there meeting one of my students who had graduated and gone on to college, and we were going to have dinner. And I was waiting on the sidewalk for her, and she starts coming down the street. And about the time that she's coming down the street, Thomas comes out of the grill with some friends of his, and I didn't know him, but I knew the friends, and so I was like, hey, Dave, hey, Donna, how y'all doing? And about that time, Katie up the street starts yelling, "Miss Donna! Miss Donna!" And I'm like, you come to see me. How do you know Miss Donna? So she comes running down the street. "Miss Donna." Turns out her best friend growing up was Donna and Dave's daughter, Shelby. They had met annual conference doing the youth delegation. So they started having this huge conversation about Shelby's upcoming wedding. So to give you an illustration, they're over here just like, that's like all the wedding talk. And Dave is kind of standing there in his white shirt and khaki pants that he always wears. He's really good at the capsule wardrobe. He's like standing there, and Thomas and I are all standing there like, what is going on? And so Dave all of a sudden goes, "Oh, do y'all know each other?" And we're like, "No, we don't know each other. We're just standing here awkwardly on the sidewalk staring at each other." So he introduced us, and and that was kind of it. Like, he introduced us, conversation ended, me and Katie went in to eat. Thomas went off with Dave and Donna. And Thomas, what happened when you went off with Dave and Donna?
Donna says, "You really need to ask her out." And I said, "No, I'm really not interested in dating at this point." And she said, "No, you really need to ask her out." And anyway, from that point on, I just, her saying that just kept ringing in my head. Now, Dave had told me the same thing, but I didn't listen to my friend Dave because he tried to fix me up with someone one time that ended up in jail. And so I didn't. And so I didn't listen to him, but when she said it, it kind of got my attention. But I was really at a place where I was content and living a single life, and so, but anyway, I kept thinking about meeting Melissa, and anyway, it was the next day, I think.
The next day, you sent me an Instagram request. Or you started following me. And I was like, who's this dude following me? And so I followed you back. Because, it didn't really matter who it was, because somebody was following me, so I was going to follow him back. And then you started messaging me. Well, no, actually, we ran into each other a couple more times during conference, and we had like those little short, awkward conversations where you're like, "Hey, trying to get to know you, but don't really know you, but this is kind of interesting." And then after conference, that's when you started messaging me a lot.
Well, you responded.
Well, I did respond. So we messaged on Instagram for probably a good, solid 2 weeks, 3 weeks, back and forth. Well, finally, I got kind of tired of having to check my notifications on Instagram, because that was more work than I really wanted to put into anything, because I don't like notifications on my phone. So I said, you know what? You could just text me. Here's my number. So then
we started texting, and within a week started talking, and then I happened to ask her for a potential date, and and so we set a date for me to drive up to Woodstock, and our date, I drove up there.
Let me tell this part. He drove up there. I had just moved to my house in Woodstock, and I was unpacking. And he drove up there, and he said, "I'll come help you unpack some boxes." That's how he got that date, because he said he'd come help unpack some boxes. What he didn't know was that when he got there, I had a leaky toilet. And I was like, I'm trying to fix this toilet, and I can't figure it out. I was like, I think this is what's wrong. And I hauled him into that bathroom, and y'all, he fixed my toilet. You talk about getting some brownie points. He fixed my toilet. Of course, he needed to take a shower after he fixed my toilet. And then we went out to eat.
We did. And that went very well. And so we set up an opportunity to have the second date and decided that both Covington and Conyers were a good halfway point for us to meet. And so we began meeting here, which I thought was interesting that we would move here. And our second date was over at Chimney Park. And we took a nice little walk over there and then went up into town and went to the olive oil store and to the ice cream shop and all these places and had a good time just strolling around. And I forgot about this, but her favorite color was purple. And I was like, I wonder if I can find a purple rose to bring her when we meet. And sure enough, at the florist in downtown Covington there, walked in and they had some purple roses. So I was able to greet her with a purple rose.
Aww. It was sweet. Our third date was here in Conyers, wasn't it, when we went to 10 Plate?
I can't remember which one.
I think that was right before you went on vacation forever. So we'd had about 2 or 3 dates, and things were going really good and everything. And then he goes on vacation. And I'm like, dude, we're like, got something going here. Now you're going to leave me? So he goes to vacation, he goes to pastor school, and then he goes to the beach, and he's sending me all these pictures at the beach. You know what? The last thing you want to get from somebody when you're at work in a new office in a new church is pictures of them at the beach. It really doesn't do a lot for you. But anyway, it's okay. Because while he was at the beach, he apparently had a little talk with God. This is the sweet part of the story.
But before I had gone, we had been out a few times, and we liked each other, and things were going well. But I had really come to a place in my life to where, I guess in the simplest form to put it, I really didn't trust I needed to be in another relationship. I had been married, and I didn't want to go through hurt and pain and things of that nature. And so there's this place in Daytona that I've gone a number of times, and I was just telling someone about it a few minutes ago, and it's a I call it a ma and pa kind of hotel, and I love this place. It's so well kept and all, and so I've been going there for several years, and I had been the year before and the year before that, and in one of those years after my divorce, I had taken a key, and in a moment to where I had been walking down the beach and I had been just crying out to God and seeking God's direction, I just really came to a point of surrender. This is the serious part of the story. And said, Lord, here's the key to my heart. And I threw it into the ocean. And I said, Lord, I'm yours. I'm going to serve you with my life, continue in ministry as long as you'll allow me. And this is what Lord, just use me. And basically committing myself to the call to continue as a pastor, not be married, and to live the single life as a pastor. And so.
Then he met me.
And then so back forward again to where we met, I'm walking the beach again and having this conversation with God and really not trusting myself or that we needed to move forward into the relationship. And we had come to that point to where I could tell that it was either going to be cut off or go to the next level in the relationship. And I kid you not, as the sun is setting, it's the beautiful picturesque scene at the beach with the waves coming in and all this. And I'm sitting there crying and talking to the Lord. The waves are coming in, and at my feet washes a key. It is not the key that I threw in the ocean.
But boy, that would make a really good Spark story.
And this key washes up at my feet, and I reach down and pick it up, and it's an old ghost key, and I think it probably goes to a piano. But I pick up this key, and I just really sense the Lord saying to me, it's okay. You can move forward. This is good. And so that was really the point that when I came back, she didn't know about the key until I gave it to her Christmas with the story. But I knew in my heart that it was going to be good.
Aww. It really is a great story, and it was totally unexpected. I mean, again, no one ever told me that the bishop also ran a dating service at annual conference. You can meet someone anywhere.
How much time do we have, Nate? I know a few folks did have a question.
A few questions people might have?
Yeah.
Or
But I know the choir is fixing the rehearsal.
Yeah, we got a few minutes, yeah. And
Okay.
just kind of open questions.
Did you have anything else?
No, that was what we had, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as y'all are nice. Did y'all have any questions you wanted to ask us, or?
Yeah.
Hmm? Favorite song for worship?
Road trip.
Oh, road trip. It's easy for me. Sweet home Alabama.
If we're going Leonard Skinner, I'm going to have to say, give me 3 steps. However, I really do enjoy singing the Pina Colada song when I'm going on a trip.
Does he still have the key?
I have the key. It's on a chain, and if I'd known we were telling the story tonight, I would have worn it today. But it's on a chain. He gave it to me for Christmas in a box. It had the whole story like written out in a card, and it was in a little shell box, the whole 9 yards. I opened it up, and of course we're all like looking at it like, what? And then I started reading the card, and I started crying. So yes, I do still have the key.
Any other
Well,
questions?
I hope this has been fun.
I know this has been fun. I was gonna. Oh, we got a question.
In a nutshell, talk about when your wedding was gonna be.
Oh. We had planned our wedding to be on April 25th of 2020. And so when the governor issued the shelter in place in 2020, we knew our wedding plans were totally shot. It wasn't going to happen. And we had already arranged for some clergy friends of ours to do the wedding and things like that. And so we had talked a little bit, what would we do? Because, if you remember, there was some talk that it could happen. And so when it finally did happen, we kind of had an alternative plan in place. And that plan was to call our friends and see if they could marry us before the shelter in place went into effect. And so we actually called Will and Blair Zant to see if they could meet us on the day of the shelter in place. And so we met them at Northbrook United Methodist Church. They had an outside chapel. Well, not a chapel, but kind of an outside worship space. And they met us there, and we had a spontaneous wedding on April the 3rd of 2020, and we still have not had our honeymoon. Primarily because of COVID, but then we were tentative, and she's still got a wedding dress that she's ready to wear, and we talked about having the wedding this past April, until my son and now daughter-in-law announced that they were getting married and had planned for an April wedding, and I'm like, no, we can't do that. And so
It'll happen.
she's ready to wear that dress.
Where do we want to honeymoon?
Ooh, she wants the honeymoon at Disney World. She loves Disney and the beach, and I'm just along for the ride, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, be honest, Disney is like one of your biggest nightmares. Thomas can be very introverted, and so I think the thought of Disney and all the people and all the happiness just kind of makes him go, ooh.
All right, any other questions? Oh, yeah, Nancy. Favorite colors? That was the
Colors?
question.
I love black. I like pink. And it really just depends on what we're talking about. But my go-tos are black and pink and blue, I think. And white.
My favorite colors would definitely be pink and purple.
Some good overlap. Good question, Nancy, the quilter. All right, I think with that, if there's no others, this was great. And I think next week we'll be doing the same game with Joel and Nancy, so get ready. Just kidding. But thank y'all again so much for sharing your story and letting us get to know you guys a little bit better. This has been such a great time.
So we've got 2 anniversaries. And our anniversary couples, why don't y'all stand up and let us all, everyone just see,
We got
all sitting together. And they have a story to tell about how they found out they have the same anniversary. And so see them and let them tell you the story. And happy anniversary. God bless you. Awesome. Awesome. I just want to say thank you all for the warm reception that you've given to us. And I pray that we have many wonderful years of ministry together as we move forward to make disciples of Christ. And it is truly an honor to serve you all and to be able to serve Christ with you. And so I hope y'all have had a little fun tonight. And I didn't know what Nate was going to ask or say, but other than the wedding question. But no, he didn't ask who's smartest.
You got the cards.
No. I was smart enough to marry you.
We got one more question. Who's your favorite pastor? Was that a question? Good setup. Good setup.
She is an awesome preacher.
Will we ever get to hear her preach?
Okay, several people have asked if she'll ever get to preach here and has asked if we can do a pulpit swap. And the answer to that is yes, but let us each get grounded with our congregations. But the problem's going to be is you're going to like her so much you just want me to stay over at Covington.
Well, thank you again. And again, feel free. I mean, we'll have multiple opportunities to get to know them more over the coming weeks, so don't bombard them too much tonight. But thank you all again so much for coming. And yeah, and have a great night.